history already. And tonight we're joined by three women. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Lindsay, Shivam, you guys want to start, and we'll move over to Adriana.
Sure. My name is Lindsay Davis Stover. I'm one of the founders of 1953 Tequila.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shiva Malik Shah, and I'm also one of the founders of 1953 Tequila.
Hi, I'm Adriana Lopez from Mexico, and I am the owner of Bonanza Distillery.
And Heidi, who are you?
I'm Heidi, La Tequila Mamacita. I'm in Nashville. I'm a tequila educator and professional tequila drinker.
Awesome. And I, of course, am Marissa, the Tequila Encyclopedia. So let's get this party started. This is the last episode of a 5 Tuesday month of Women's History Month. Very rare to get a 5 Tuesday month, and we got one, which was perfectly timed. You guys are closing us out. So, as you may know, we start every show by doing two things. First thing we do is called Smile Like an Asshole. And we do this because when we were on Instagram, we needed a snip of everybody smiling, and it's really hard to get 2, 3, 4, now 5 people smiling at the same time. So everybody smile, hold up a bottle if you got one. I will count to 10.
Now it's a tradition.
Now we just do it for fun. It's just like a thing we do. Okay, let's roll. Ready, set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cheers.
Cheers.
Now the next thing we do is we say what we're drinking and who we're cheersing to. We never make our guests go first. Heidi, do you want to go or you want me to?
I'll go. I want to say thank you to all of the women in the industry. It's been a great month having all of the guests in an industry that's like pretty much male dominated. It's really cool to get the opportunity to meet and talk to so many wonderful, motivated, passionate women about tequila. So that's who I'm going to cheers to, but I haven't opened the bottle yet, so I'm just going to go cheers.
Open the bottle, baby. I haven't either. Let's do it. You want to do it together?
All right. So look at this box. It's gorgeous, this presentation, and it has a story. There's story here about how everything happened, how it was founded. I have not
do an interpretive reading later. Wait, should I do it now? I'm going to do an interpretive reading.
Oh my God, that top is really heavy.
It's meant to be upcycled and reused, so we can tell you about that too.
Wow, that is so cool. Okay, I'm going to pour this, and this is an añejo.
Yes.
I really don't know much about it because I wanted to wait until the show to pour it. But
let's go, babe. Let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That is really tasty. Yummy.
Can I ask a question? Are you guys American Oak?
We are.
We are.
Well played. Well played. Nice.
First time I'm having it.
But is it Marissa,
Yes, ma'am. What's that?
New oak or used oak?
Ooh. Well, it's an añejo, so that makes it difficult without knowing how many months it's an añejo for, right? Like, because if it's a 12-month añejo with that much flavor, I'm going to go new. If it's like a, I don't know, 35-month añejo.
The color's not super dark.
Oh, I can't see the color because I just put it straight in my face.
Do you want us to tell you how long?
Yeah.
Was that
No,
okay.
no, not yet. But look at the viscosity. Very thick.
Wow.
Very
It's got
thick.
really
Look at
nice
that. So
flavor.
anyone at home, I don't know if you're seeing this. It's a very thick, like you can see. I don't know if you can see it on my glass, but there's the legs are hanging. They're hanging. Okay. What do you think, Heidi? New?
No, I think bourbon.
You think bourbon? I think
Used bourbon barrels.
I think bourbon. I do.
I don't know what kind of bourbon, but bourbon.
Question's the char, though. That's the real question. I don't actually know if it's bourbon. I'll be honest. There's a chance it's not bourbon. Oh. Anyway, let's finish our toast and then we'll get into production. So Heidi,
I have to like tell you on our faces what we're.
Sorry, we get nerdy real quick.
I love it.
I am obviously drinking the only expression from Tequila 1953, which of course is the Añejo, the flagship product. And I am cheersing to Christina Helmer, a woman in the industry. She's amazing. She is the rep for Don Filato in New York City. She's the reason that I'm not entirely sober right now, because on Sunday there was an event called Mujeres de Mezcal, but I didn't want to go. I wanted to go, but I couldn't go because women's college basketball was playing and I needed to see that. So she said, well, if you're not going to this, why don't you go to this other thing on Tuesday? And so I went to that other thing before now, and she's awesome. She's been in the industry for a very long time, has a very like a strong reputation, is always really informative and incredible. So cheers to Christina.
Cheers, Christina.
Cheers.
Are you definitely thinking bourbon, Heidi?
Yeah, because bourbon barrels kind of have this vanilla-y sort of taste
Yeah.
that happens, kind of like vanilla, banana. The smell is like really yummy and sweet.
You know what would be helpful, and I'm not asking, is how many months it's been aged. Without knowing that, it kind of makes it difficult to know how barrels are. But anyway, okay, why don't you guys say what you're drinking and who you're cheersing to? This little mystery is going to be fun for us.
Sure. So I'm drinking our amazing Añejo. Happy to tell you how long it's aged for, but I don't know if I should yet.
Walk through it. Tell us how long it's aged for.
Okay, so it's aged for 15 months.
Do you want to know what it's aged
I was going to say in.
No.
Okay.
In some
Not
barrels.
I'm kind of coming around to Heidi's thought on the bourbon, because she's right. There's a bit of vanilla here. And with vanilla, it tends to be bourbon as opposed to something French. We already established it's American. American's either bourbon or whiskey. Bourbon tends to be sweeter. I'm kind of on Heidi's train here, knowing it's only 15 months. I believe it's bourbon. If you had said it was more like 20 or 30, then we could have said something else. Anyway, please continue.
We're dying to tell you.
I know, I'm dying to tell you. I'm trying not to show you my facial expressions.
But we're all about creating opportunities for women and elevating the stories of women. So I initially was thinking, like Heidi, that we would recognize the women who've come before us and just kind of created the opportunity for us to be here. To not be repetitive with Heidi, I would raise a glass to one other person who's not with us today, but who's at the core of 1953, and that's our master distiller, Rocio Rodriguez. She is a trailblazer in her own right. You'll see her name on all of our bottles. We met Rocio through Adriana and her family, and it is her brilliance that has helped us create this incredible tequila. So cheers.
Cheers.
I was almost Distiller. Love that.
I was almost going to be named Laura Rocio. But instead, I was with Heidi, and they didn't give me a middle name, and my younger sister is Laura Rocio.
Oh. I was Larissa.
Marissa.
Larissa, Marissa. My dad wanted to call me Larry. Thank God. Okay. All right. Great. So women in the industry, love that. Okay. So Shivam, I'm saying your name wrong. Say it.
Shivam.
Shivam. Nailing it. Shivam. Okay.
Thank
Lindsay.
Yes. So I'm drinking 1953. And, I think like Shivam, I think just toast to the women. We've all talked about this before. I mean, it's such a male dominated field, and we set out to do something that was wildly different. And somewhat of a disruption in a very male-dominated industry. And we literally work with women at every single level. And I think who I want to pay a special shout out to are the women bartenders, because women put up with so much shit behind a bar. And they also inspired 1953. They actually helped us come up with the shape of the bottle, because we wanted to create something that was easy for everyone to pour, especially for women. One hand behind a bar.
Too easy to pour, if I'm being honest. Like I'm
They were the ones that decided that, hey, this should be white. We should really create something that pops on the back bar that people ask questions about, because we want to be able to tell the story behind 1953 and the women behind it. So we really wanted, to start a conversation piece. And it was the women bartenders that helped us create the shape of the bottle, the idea for the bottle in particular. And Heidi, you mentioned the cork. They wanted to be able to use corks for other expressions and wine bottles. So that cork can be used for any other liquor bottles, wine bottles. You can use it forever, peel off the sticker, and it's embossed with 1953. So you can stamp an ice cube with it. It was very intentional.
Oh,
Yeah. You'll see. So I really
Wow.
like it for folks who.
I don't want to mess it up though, but
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will do a special cheers to the women bartenders out there.
I have a few favorites in New York.
Cheers.
The team at Sip and Guzzle, I will tell you.
Ooh.
Andrea and Victoria, two of the best bartenders ever at Sip and Guzzle. They're definitely not watching this because they're behind the bar. But yeah, big fan. Okay, I'm going bourbon, but different kinds.
for women, for workers, and for the world on this bottle cap.
Wait, okay, yeah, we need to, I think we have to spend some significant time on the bottle. Like, we're gonna hit that for sure. I don't know if you've watched TequiLadies before, but we play this game where we have this bottleneck thing, and we'll spend some time on this bottle, certainly, this art.
Yes.
Adriana.
This is definitely recognizable.
Yes.
Well, I want to make a toast for Lindsay, Shivam, the founders, because they have chosen Bonanza to create an exceptional tequila while paving the way for the future generations of women in the world of tequila.
Okay. Wow. You guys.
Cheers.
So I'll tell you what, Heidi and I have gotten cheers to on the show before, but never, ever have our guests been cheers to on the show. So another first for 1963 tonight. The most number of guests and also the first people to get cheersed. Making history. Making history. Okay.
I love your story. Can I just really quickly, I just want to talk about this box. So when people buy this tequila in the store, is it in a box or is it just the bottle?
It is. It's in a box.
The box is really cool, and I'll just read this really quickly. It says, "Four sisters,"
and I don't have to.
4 sisters who inherited an agave farm because their father didn't have any sons. A leather jacket-clad master distiller with a degree in chemical engineering who worried she might lose her job when she got pregnant.
Pause. 4 sisters.
4 sisters.
4 sisters. Okay.
Inherited an agave farm.
Love that. Okay.
And then a leather jacket-clad master distiller with a degree in chemical engineering who worried she might lose her job when she got pregnant. The first woman in Mexico to run a major distillery who built a nursery in the office rather than lose her master distiller. All of these stories have been blended into this tequila. They're not traditional, but paths for women rarely all. So this bottle was inspired by all of those women, which is really cool. And the story is in here. And then on the inside, it says, "Cheers to the Trailblazers."
Love that.
I love it too.
Heidi, I don't know about you, but
there's a whole other thing back here too.
Yeah, in here, there's a little note, "Cheers to the Trailblazers." So Heidi, I don't know about you, but 214 episodes we've done here, yeah?
Yeah.
Have you noticed, and you can say no, have you noticed that when a woman is involved in the design of any of the bottle or any of the packaging, there's little Easter eggs and a lot of intentionality and a lot of detail. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Because I tell you, without knowing anything about this brand, I feel very strongly that I would know that women were involved in the design of this bottle for a few reasons. Let's start. Reason number 1, the shape. Ergonomic. What does this remind you of? Inspiro? Because it reminds me of Inspiro, also a female brand that wanted to make something a little more ergonomic, also white, also clean. Ergonomic. Next, every detail. Look at this lid.
Yeah.
Don't waste any space. Social justice spirits for women, for the world, for workers. Look at that. I probably did it out of order. It doesn't matter. See that?
Mhm.
And I think
Yep.
just whenever you have women involved, it feels like they don't miss the details. Now you've got the
No.
box, right? Pretend the box doesn't exist, but it does. And you not only do you have a box that's here, it has all the spaces used, right? But in a very delicate way. So you've got this beautiful story that you just read. You've got this
And
egg inside. You've got on the back a story so that if someone isn't opening it because they're in a store and they're buying it and they're like, I don't want to take it out. So like all those details, like this, the story being on the back, right? Like seems like a little detail, but it's a detail because the only way you read this is if you open this. You might not be able to open this. You're in a store, right? Am I getting warmer here, ladies?
Yes.
Yeah. And also like a lot of times like I will look at a bottle and I'll be like, that's a cool name. I wonder why they named it that, you know? And that's what the back says. Because 1953 was when women in Mexico were first allowed to vote, right?
That's right.
Let me read this, Heidi.
All there.
You want me to read this?
Yes.
1953, women secured the right to vote in Mexico. This bottle honors the courage, tenacity, and boldness of those women and anyone fighting to pursue equality around the world today. 1953 is handcrafted from fully mature 100% blue agave farmed in the Highlands. Okay, Highlands was going to be a guess, so I love this.
You're about to answer all your questions.
Like, I probably should stop. What do they call it? Like, spoiler alert. Slow cooked and additive free. We take no shortcuts. Oh shit, you're gonna get shit for saying additives. This is Mexico's finest tequila, rested in America's finest oak barrels, girl. The result is a smooth and balanced tequila with notes of caramel and vanilla, as you said, complemented by hints of citrus and chocolate, as we would have said. Tequila is traditional, but our story is not. 1953 is the only super premium tequila founded, farmed, alliteration, distilled and distributed, alliteration, by women. We love alliteration. Okay, love that. I'm telling you, I would have known without the words, just knowing this is women. So,
And why would somebody get this? Well, they will now after they watch the show, but instead of one of those other fancy bottles that we all know are filled with crap, basically. You know, so this is actually like a good, well-made tequila with like a good story behind it, passion behind it, and it's beautiful. Who wouldn't want that as a gift in that box?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to Napa tomorrow and I'm going to seal this up and really, really, really good. And I'm putting it in one of my special plastic puffy bags. It's going with me. We're going to have it on Easter.
oh wow.
Really good.
So if you're the TSA, just quick shout out. Heidi is
No, I'm going to check it. I'm going to check it.
I'm sorry I'm not getting paid, but no. Yeah. Okay, so okay, we have three beautiful women on this call, and we should be asking them questions instead of just spitballing.
Yeah.
We can't help it. So okay, how did you guys meet? How did you meet?
So we actually known each other in the DC area for a while. I mean, we did not come from the spirits industry. We both came from very male-dominated fields. I know we talked about it a little bit before, but she even came from investment banking. I came from defense and veterans policy. And so for us, we have been very comfortable always being the only woman in the room. And we've known we'd had to show up differently because of that, you know? And so we put that intentionality into building this brand. And we were fortunate to meet Adriana and her family. And we literally flew down during the pandemic with an idea. And it was an idea to create a supply chain led by women, literally from the agave fields to the distillery to here in the US. And, you know, I will let Adriana tell the story of when we first, you know, came up with this idea. But, you know, I think when we all first met that day and talked about building this brand, we knew it'd be tough. We knew that we'd have to create a supply chain that didn't currently exist. And we knew we found the right partner when Adriana just lit up and said, you know what, let's figure it out. Let's figure out how to do this. And it was Adriana that was able to really help us work through the farming piece in particular, which was the toughest piece of building the supply chain. And we were able to go to an agave farm owner who had 4 daughters, who wanted to retire. And, you know, as you all probably know, typically agave farms are passed generationally through sons. And because he had 4 daughters, these women, I mean, everyone on this call knows these women had been running that farm since they were about 4, right? But had never thought of themselves as business owners before. And so we all met. We brought this idea and said, if we can guarantee purchase of agave for 1953, would you consider taking over your father's farm? And they came back to all of us and said, yes, absolutely. And
Wait a second. Hold
What a
on.
beautiful story. That's great.
So, okay, agave is an interesting thing, right? Because as you know, the cyclicality of agave tends to be mismatched with the market demand. So it's one of the biggest key components of tequila, but it also creates winners and losers in the industry. So you have a long-term contract with agave growers
we do.
as a new brand.
We
Do
do.
you know how many
You are
acres there?
investment banking. Holy shit.
The house of Adriana and her family and the Bonanza Distillery.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so Adriana, is it your family? Are you one of the 4 sisters?
I think sisters are not part of the family, but we have met them for a long time because his father used to provide us agave, and also he used to work in our distillery.
Okay, so Adriana, so your family owns the distillery where the
Yes.
Agua de las Tías.
Ajá, Enojo de Agua de las Tías, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then and just to clarify too, I think is the distillery in the highlands or the lowlands?
It's in the
valleys?
highlands, yes. In Jalisco, we have like 2 important areas where we can have the agave.
Yeah.
And one is like the volcanic area, that it's Tequila area. And we have the highlands where Bonanza is.
Oh, okay. So the distillery is in the highlands.
In the highlands,
The
yes.
agaves. The agaves, so I'm going to summarize what I've heard. The agaves are grown by a family that has 4 daughters in the highlands.
In the
And then
highlands.
Adriana's family owns a distillery also in the highlands.
In the highlands, yes.
Okay.
And Adriana, ¿tiene hermanos y hermanas?
Sure. Yes, we are 6 in the family. 3 brothers and 3 sisters.
Whoa! Oh my God! What order are you? Where are you? Are you old or?
I'm the older.
Are you the first
I'm
daughter?
sorry.
context order.
The first
sorry?
daughter, like me, we are the.
Yes.
Let me
Good.
tell you, we get things done. We get
Yes.
things done.
And so Rocio, is she part of the family, the master distiller?
Who's the master?
No,
distiller?
she's not part of the family. She has many years working in the distillery with us.
But she has a leather jacket, and she made a nursery in the distillery because she was.
Adriana's family was actually for Rocio when she came to the distillery.
Crushed
Yes.
it.
So you can
so Adriana-
what we did when we met Adriana and family was that these stories need to be told, and the talent that lives here in this family and in the farming family and in Rocio's experience, these are folks that are incredibly excellent at their craft. And we know here in the US, tequila is booming because so many more people are drinking it and they want an authentic product. And even though more women are drinking it, you never see women discussed as consumers or producers of tequila.
Yeah.
And so we really wanted to change that. And so when we started looking for the right partners, we knew we needed to find somebody who could make an excellent tequila. But we wanted that to also be with a partner that shared in our values around elevating the stories of women, honoring the authentic traditions of Mexico, and really putting forward a quality product. We met with so many people who had advice for us on what a women's tequila should be.
Men who had a lot of advice for us.
And let's just be clear, that advice is not at all what the product is that we ultimately created. So we got told by a lot of folks, it should be pink, it should be sweet.
Pink. Yep.
And there are the tequilas out there, but we felt like the women we know, they want an authentic, pure spirit. And as much as we're about creating a product that's for women, this is a high quality product that's made by women for everyone. And we felt like we needed to lead with that balance of quality and authenticity within the context of creating opportunities for women.
And I
So
love
when
what
you
said
decided
there.
on your product, how did you decide añejo to start with?
Yep.
And how did you decide, once you knew it was an añejo, what kind of flavor profile that you wanted if you were targeting women?
Can we pause that for just like 1 second? I just want to make one comment. You made a comment where you said that being like for women, like appreciative of women and not just being pink and staying in that lane. And I think one of the misconceptions about feminism is that it's women in spite of men.
That's
but
right.
It's really just equality of women and like equality of women amongst men. And so when you make a product that is like very, very pink or very like overly feminine, it's not that it's elevating women, it's more that it's alienating men. And I think one of the key tenets of making equality a thing is to not make it one versus the other. And I think you accomplished that with this by making this not overly feminine, but not feminine. Like those who know are looking at this going, oh, this is a feminine bottle without being alienating of men, which is 50% of the population.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a sleeper market. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say there was a lady in the comments that said she would reuse it as a flower vase.
Yeah.
Because it's
A lot of restaurants and bars use it as vases or water bottles. There's a restaurant in Texas that has lamps on it. Yeah, it's been fun to see, especially through social media, how people are reusing the bottle. But I think, you know, we talked about earlier, you know, Texas in particular is one of our largest markets. And one of our sleeper markets has been men who are bourbon drinkers. And you know, oftentimes they'll order 1953 over a block of ice or neat. I think, you know, we underestimated that part of our market. We did want to elevate the stories of women, but we did want to make a tequila for everyone and to enjoy. And so it's been fun to see, you know, do these big cigar events or golf tournament events, you know, because it's been fun to see the sleeper market out there of men who are typically bourbon drinkers.
Yeah, and it is bourbon, right? It's bourbon barrel aged.
Yes.
It's really good vintage bourbon barrels.
Yes.
Did you watch the wheels turn? Like Heidi clocked it immediately, and I was more like, you know, trepid. But like honestly, she has a really good palate. I do too, but certainly that was awesome, Heidi. So you Heidi asked about why it was añejo, and I don't want to.
Yes, and the reason why I asked is because typically with women, I find that when I'm out doing events and sampling people, everybody's on a health kick. Tequila's the healthy, you know, whatever, even though it's alcohol. But for some reason, they gravitate toward blanco because they see it as like pure.
Marketing.
So I was really curious to ask from a marketing perspective why you chose añejo to start with instead of starting with the blanco.
Yeah, I think for several reasons. I'll start and you know, you know, first and foremost, we wanted to put something out first that, you know, typically isn't mixed with something, right? We wanted to put out a sipping tequila that created conversation and community around the product. And, you know, I think part of us in telling the story of women behind this product is really creating an environment that develops that community. And so we wanted to put our best foot forward, honestly. And we wanted something that was smooth, that everyone could enjoy, just neat or over, you know, a block of ice or however they choose to enjoy it. It hurts our heart a little bit to go to some of these restaurants and see it mixed in a margarita, but you know, however you want to enjoy it is fine. But that's really why we started with the añejo. And I think too, because we did not come from the spirits industry, we weren't trapped by the way things have always been done or the way people think they should be done, right? We knew we were coming out with a product that would be somewhat of a disruptor in the industry. And so we weren't afraid to come out with the añejo first and really brand, you know, the añejo around building this community. And the exciting part is I think it's really paved a great way for other products to continue, which I know we could talk about later on this evening, but it's really developed a loyal community base around this tequila. And I think partly because we encourage the conversation and the stories as we sip tequila.
And so you guys have one product right now, right? It's an añejo, as Heidi pointed out. That's pretty unusual. A lot of brands start with a blanco because you have to make a blanco in order to make an añejo, right? You make a blanco, you put it in barrels, then it becomes an añejo. A lot of people take a little bit of that blanco, push it to market to fund themselves. Obviously, of course, blancos tend to lose money, but different conversation.
Right.
So Yeah, and you probably knew that. You guys feel pretty smart. Yeah, you know what you're doing. Begs the question.
Yeah.
Is it only gonna be a one SKU product? Are you ever gonna go smaller bottle? Are you gonna go into different expressions? Like, what's next for 19? What is 1954 for 1953?
Yeah, so we definitely have other expressions on the way. So as Lindsay mentioned, we started with the Añejo. We really wanted to focus on the authenticity of the spirit. And when it's in a cocktail, you can't actually always taste the spirit. And with Rocio and Adriana's partnership, you asked earlier how we came up with the taste profile. It was an very iterative process and a very fun iterative process where we got to try lots of great tequila and try to put words to what was the ultimate flavor profile we wanted to get to market. But in that process, we also wanted to stay additive free, which was another reason why we chose to lead with an Añejo, because we found that the aging really allowed the full flavor profile to come to fruition. So we knew we wanted to lead.
So confident about it that you put it in print, which I'm really
gonna get in so much trouble.
How were you able to do that?
Yeah.
So this was pre-CRT regulation.
Oh, okay.
So new boxes will not have that. Obviously, they really can't have that now.
Wow, this makes it feel so much more special to have the box.
Yes, that is actually,
item.
the two of you got bottles from literally the
Months
first
ago.
batch that we made.
Yeah. We got them months ago. I remember getting this and being like, I want to drink this, but I know they're coming on the show, and I try not to drink things until the show because I want to have a true reaction. And it was just sitting, and I was like, oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty, though.
So you all got like the first batch
Edition,
bottles.
yeah.
So obviously with the regulations and rules changing now,
The box will change.
the
but
box will
juice
change.
not.
The juice will not, though. Yeah.
And we did, we were the best additive-free Añejo on the market. That also will not change, even when the box changes. But
Hey,
How important was
So
it
wait,
for
hold
you?
on though. Heidi,
Since you guys,
we're burying.
I want
wait,
You know what they said? Do you know what they said? They said a bunch
What?
of wonderful things, but you know what else they said? They said, "Oh, there will be other expressions."
yeah.
We're not going to glaze over that. Do other people know there are other expressions?
they've been asking for it. And so we are really excited to share that we'll be launching our Reposado later this year.
Do
And-
other people know that?
No, this is the first
is the
time
first
we're
time.
announcing it.
Nice.
There's a Reposado coming out. Heidi, you are good at this. How will it be different? How will the bottle look different? You tend to guess this very well. I have a guess. What do you think is going to
I
be?
don't guess bottles well. You guess bottles well. No.
All right, fine, I do.
You're the bottle queen. She's the
I
bottle
think-
queen.
I think it's going to be in this like sage green color is going to be different. That's my guess.
Like
And
maybe orange.
I was going to say something in the purple family.
Oh.
What do you think? You think orange?
I think orange just because that's what I'm used to seeing for Reposado probably.
Orange,
So maybe it's not because they want to be different. So
I think blue
don't
or
know.
purple. And the reason I think that is because one, in a color palette that works, and two, purple's been like an underground color associated with women. So, what color will? How will the bottle be different for a repo? How will people know it's a repo?
So it will be the same shape. Every bottle we come out with will be the exact same shape. The repo will be a clear crystal bottle.
Damn it, Heidi, we were wrong.
Oh, so the
I
whole
feel like we should do a collab with you all on a purple bottle because that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, purple's very it's like a underground female color. Okay, so it's gonna be clear.
It's going to be
So
clear.
it's not gonna be ceramic.
No.
Nope.
And that's actually painted glass as well. So
This is painted glass.
glass.
Can I
Oh
ask
my
you a
God.
question? So, like, just full transparency, I tend to not like when I can't see the color of the tequila. If it's hand painted, is there a world where you can hand paint some of it but not all of it? Have you considered that?
Yes. When we actually did this first bottle, we had this conversation with female bartenders. And so we initially looked at having a line in the back where you could
Yeah, a gauge they call it.
It honestly wasn't beautiful. And so when you hold that bottle up to the light, you'll be able to see how much tequila is in it. So we managed that challenge by making sure the opacity was not 100%.
It's also just
What about keeping the bottom clear? It's more so that people could see like the color of the spirit.
yeah.
You know. I don't know.
I mean, that's part of why the Reposado is going to have a clear box, a clear
Oh,
bottle.
I'm excited to see what that looks like. Is the Repo going to have a box too, or no?
We're still working that piece out.
Yeah.
We're not
know.
sure on the box yet.
I
for
don't
the-
know because Añejo should be premium, and I think it makes it more premium.
It does.
Well, and we
Not that
find
you're asking me.
no, we're open.
We're
to the
open.
feedback.
We're in, right. This is literally the time we're making decisions.
We loved the box because it allowed us to tell the story when we were a new product. You know, the
Yeah.
bottle design is very minimalist. And so we wanted people to know why 1953. We wanted to tell the stories of the women in the supply chain. Now that we've been out there, we're toying with whether we can do things differently now with the Reposado bottle. But it will be a clear bottle and you will be able to see the tequila inside the bottle. But you'll also be able to see the two bottles next to each other and immediately know they're different. There will be no confusion for a consumer over what's an Añejo and what's the Reposado that we're bringing.
I'll be honest with you, a clear bottle like this is going to be sick. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
it's going to be
so
sick.
pretty.
It's pretty. I'm already excited to put flowers in this when I finish this tequila tonight.
I know.
No,
Maybe I won't keep it to Napa. Maybe I'll keep it here and then put flowers in it.
listen, I love your family as much as you do. Do not take that to Napa.
I did have a question I wanted to ask you just because we were talking about the additive free and you were so adamant about putting it on the box. And neither one of you said, came from the spirits industry. So at what point did you become aware of additives in tequila and decide that you definitely didn't want additives in your tequila?
I mean, I think for us as consumers, we've always been aware of what we put in our bodies, right? And I think, you know, as we mentioned before, we knew we had to come out with an exceptional product. And, you know, as often we've been the only women in the room, you have to show up in an exceptional way sometimes to even be taken seriously, right? So we brought that sentiment to building this, and we wanted to do everything in, you know, the best possible way we could. And you know, we're excited. We've got gold in San Francisco when other of our competitors were getting silvers. We were named Best Craft Añejo by Rob Report, Best Additive Añejo by Men's Journal. So, you know, we knew we had to have some validation too in this process. And so that's been, while we don't hang our hats on those awards, I think that has helped us get into some doors that otherwise would have been difficult for us to get into, especially with distribution.
Yeah. How many bottles were produced? How many bottles did you produce on
The first round.
First round was like 25,000
25,000
bottles.
Wow, that's a lot. That's great.
I was just going to add that one of the other things that helped us kind of get that external validation was that we were featured on the Today Show. And we were featured on the Today Show as part of Women's History Month. So it was us kind of leaning into the purpose of our company, which is around elevating the stories of women and telling the stories of women in spirits. And that segment on the Today Show really opened doors for us. And it was a popular enough segment that they actually aired it 2 more times. So we were lucky to be featured on the Today Show 3 times. And
when was that originally aired?
The original segment
Last
was
year.
Maybe 2 years ago now.
Oh,
It's almost 2 years ago. March 2024. So it was when we were very new. At that point, we basically had online distribution. And once we got to the Today Show, and again, that was an iterative process, conversations with lots of folks, really kind of telling the story of 1953 and this brand and the team that came together to make 1953. And when that segment aired, it opened doors for us. And so it was a series of things, but all started out with the idea that leaning into our commitment to creating opportunities for women is core to what we are as a company. And then really thinking about, as newcomers to this industry, how do we get the validation that other people need to see to be willing to take a risk on a new brand, drove a lot of that early decision making for us.
and we should add, we're newcomers to the industry, but
Still.
Adriana is not.
Yes.
Adriana comes from generations of making exceptional tequila. So
Yes.
There you go.
Oh, look. Wow.
You guys are fast.
Yeah. Bam! Look at that. Okay, so also we will post this clip and you can take a look at it. Oh, look at those agaves. How fun. We love that.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. All right, Heidi, I know what you want to ask. I know you want to ask about production methods. So why don't you do it? Why don't you ask? I know you want to know. Are you guys
I'm
up in?
thinking the production methods are going to be pretty solid because that was important to them. And I actually did cheat a little bit just now. I went on the Tequila Matchmaker app and I saw that it was why I asked the question about Añejo, because there's another tequila made at that distillery and we've had them on our show and they only make a blanco and it's also a ceramic bottle.
Yes, it is. But
Uh-huh.
it has nothing on it except the label. It has
Right.
nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah. But it's what prompted me to ask that question because I thought it was really interested that here, like you have a brand started by a guy.
You can taste. You can taste like that they're related. You know.
Yeah, and
distillery. You can
he
taste that
decided to do a blanco, and then you decided to do an añejo. So I thought that was really, really interesting, and I wanted to know why. So.
But it's an interesting point they make. They want to make a product that immediately is premium, that people are drinking neat, and I think that's an interesting thing. We haven't heard that before. It's kind of cool.
No, and it's beautiful. The bottle's gorgeous. Like I said, I would buy that all day long instead of some of the other products that are out there.
Well, Heidi,
Mm-hmm.
It's about that time. Would you buy that? Let's take guesses on what we think this costs.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, this is premium and it's an añejo. It has solid production methods. I do have one question. How is it fermented? Is it stainless steel or wood?
We'll I feel like we've talked a lot. Adriana, you should jump right on.
Tell us how the tequila is made.
In steel.
In a stainless steel, you said?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's fermented?
Yes, it's
fermented?
Yes, it's fermented in a steel.
In stainless steel.
In stainless steel.
Okay.
And then what is it distilled in? Also stainless steel?
No, copper.
Copper.
In the
Okay.
Okay, and question. What type of yeast do you use?
I'm sorry? I couldn't hear you.
What type of yeast do you use?
Our own yeast is the yeast of our property.
Like a proprietary.
And also the yeast that is in the environment.
Okay, ambient and proprietary yeast.
Natural, yes.
Okay. All right, Heidi. It's time to take some guesses. So again, it's a bottle that is hand painted. Is it hand painted?
Hand
painted glass. Solamente añejo ahora, pero un reposado is coming soon. Highlands agave.
40% ABV.
40% ABV. Is it oven cooked? Is it autoclave? Adriana,
it's oven cooked. Yes, our process is a traditional process, and the agaves are cooked in brick ovens with all the traditional process.
¿Para cuántas horas?
24 hours, and then the time to rest the agave. Yes.
Okay.
To cool down.
Life is terrible. So I drink more. I speak more Spanglish.
Agave Matchmaker made a mistake.
What?
I'm looking at all the production, and it says fermentation is wood pipones. Fermentation. So that's wrong. That's wrong, right?
Yeah.
It's stainless steel.
Do you guys have wood pipones at 16 at Bonanza?
Yes, we have, but 1953 is in the steel.
In the steel.
Stainless steel. Okay. Everything else is right.
Submit it. I was on a Zoom with Grover last night. You can. Okay. So, Heidi, do you want to on the count of 3 like yell out our guesses, or how do you want to do this, girl? So based in New York City area, like I always overguess. So like, I feel like I don't know. You want to just like say
in Tennessee, because everything's expensive here, I would say like it's got to be at least
Wait. I'm gonna
What?
say
Oh,
three-
you're gonna say
I'm gonna
what
say
you want
3, 2,
first?
1. I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1, and you just shout it out. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
174.99.
Heidi, we just get the same price. I don't think that's happened before.
That's
What is the price?
That's pretty good. It's ranges. I mean, in New York, we're seeing it for about 180 to 200, depending on the place. Texas, we're seeing it at like 156 to 165. So it depends on the location. California, we're right at 200.
200.
DC
Oh,
area,
wow.
we're at 200. Yeah.
It's even a little higher in DC sometimes. As you know, we don't get to decide, but we definitely see it in that range. And I think for a lot of folks, they're looking at 1953 when they're also looking at Don Julio 1942 or
Azul.
or Casa Dragones. And so when we thought about pricing, we wanted, we wanted to be on the shelf with these brands, but we wanted to put forward a product that is different than those brands.
And so would you say that those are your competitors? Like the brands you just named are your competitive set?
I think those are the brands that most people would see us next to. Yes, they're
When you're out here doing your Porter's Five Forces, you're looking at like,
Yeah.
okay. So then we were right in the range, Heidi. Congratulations to us.
That's great. That was
Where
perfection.
can people get it? Where can people get it? We know Texas, New York, California. Any other states?
Great question, Heidi.
Yeah, so we have full distribution in New Jersey, California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, New England,
and soon to be.
and we just signed a distribution deal for Vegas. So we're soon to be in Vegas. Yes.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
I didn't hear Tennessee. So like Heidi is in Tennessee. How would, if she was like obsessed with this and wanted to try it again, would she have to just make a friend in New Jersey, for instance, or how could she get
Or
this?
can I order online?
You can order online. You can order on our website. There are many online retailers, but you can purchase through our website, 1953tequila.com.
1953tequila.com. Okay. Very cool. And now where do you think your repo's gonna land? Well, let me start here. Have you started formulating how it's gonna be made? Have you started tasting it yet?
Yep, all of that.
We have. We were just, Adriana and I were just on the phone yesterday trying to figure out when our last taste is going to be before we bottle. So we think this next month or so, we'll be going down to do the final taste before it goes into the bottle. So we're really close to being fully done, which has been exciting. We're working with a bottle company in Mexico City, Pavisa, who's doing our bottle. So we were on a call with them yesterday to finalize the specs on the bottle. So we're excited. There's been some things that have caused some delays, obviously, in the process. But we're on track to release at the end of the summer. So we're excited.
Amazing. And okay, so you're going to be in
Jalisco
in April?
Yes.
Me too.
Oh,
Wow.
hey.
Great.
Hang. Maybe we should hang. Go to Mizante. Okay, so what do you think in the repo? You guys seem very deliberate, like nothing is by chance. Do you have a range that you're looking for the repo in terms of price, or are you going to wait and see how it turns out? Like, what's the thought there?
We definitely have a goal. So, I think for us, like we want that we know the market is changing, times are changing, and there's a demand for reposado. So I think realistically, we'll see it at about half the price of the Añejo. So probably in that 80 to 100-ish range. But again, everything will be final when all the pieces come together and we only get to suggest something. It'll range for sure across different markets. But the repo is a spectacular tequila. And like the Añejo, it will be aged in the same vintage American oak barrels previously used for bourbon, but we'll age it for 7 months, not for 15. And so when you taste it, part of the process for us in selecting that flavor profile was that we wanted it to be clear that it was part of a family of tequila. And so when you taste the reposado, it will not taste like the Añejo, but you'll know it's in the same family.
Yeah, it's like sipping.
I have a question for Adriana. Adriana,
Yes.
at your distillery, do you use different kinds of barrel, or do you primarily just use American oak bourbon barrels?
For different products, but we use American oak barrels. So for some other products, we use French oak barrels, but for 1953, it's American oak barrels.
And are you
Previously used for bourbon.
Previously, are you always using previously used barrels, or do you ever use new? Have you had
No, yes, we think that it's a better tequila, depending the profile, with use of barrels for a premium product that was used for a premium product before.
Okay. And Lindsay and Shivam, are you going to be also aging the reposado in the same kind of a barrel, or will it be a different barrel? Same kind.
For half the time, for half the price.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 15-month añejo. It's a 7-month repo. Some fixed costs on the bottle.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not supposed to have like favorite children, right? But
I have a favorite
I
parent.
don't think I could like anything as much as the añejo, because it's just, we worked so hard on it, and we did not put it out until we felt like it was perfection. And now that we have the repo, I mean, all three of us were in the tasting room. I guess it was November.
Yeah.
And it was just so exciting, because we all are so excited about it. And I feel like it will be my new favorite. I mean, it's so good.
And I'll say,
Honestly,
Rocio is a master in creating these options. And there was definitely a strong second choice. And it's a spectacular reposado. It's just not quite as aligned with the family. And yet we loved it. And so we are thinking about whether there's room for a limited edition batch of
a
some.
single barrel TequiLadies edition or something.
Maybe.
I'm just saying.
With a purple label.
Red.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, will there be a blanco?
Maybe. I think we're going to work with Rocio to figure that out. I mean, we've also left some in a barrel for an extra añejo. And so we do over time want to have a third expression. That might be another reposado. It might be a blanco. It might be an extra añejo. I think we need to see what the feedback from the market is, and we need to work with Rocio and Adriana to see what we can come up with. The añejo has really set a mark for us. We think the reposado is going to meet that mark. And then we have to see if we can keep that quality bar as high for the blanco as well, or we'll move to an extra añejo.
Would you say that you guys target aficionados or people who are newer to the spirit? Like, what is your target demographic?
That's interesting. I mean, I think we target, I wouldn't say,
I think it's anybody who wants a high quality product.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's an aficionado. They know to ask for an añejo. They know to ask for something that's made of pure ingredients. They want to sip it. We meet a lot of folks who don't normally drink their tequila that way, but then when they hear how we produce it and the stories behind it, they're curious, and we want them to take that leap and try it in the sipping format. For the reposado, I think we know it can be sipped straight, and it's delicious straight, but it's primarily going to be for cocktails. And I think when we're in the cocktail category, it's a different audience. You know, it's an audience that might be looking for something it's a different profile, and that might be more.
It's going to be half the price of the añejo, so that would make it $80. That's kind of pricey for a cocktail reposado.
Well, you'd be amazed the cocktails they make with 1953 now. I mean, it's wild. Restaurants are making a lot on this tequila. You know, on one pour of this tequila, I think we calculated 3 pours of the bottle for a restaurant will pay for it. So they're making quite a bit on this. And, you know, we're continuing to grow our restaurant presence. We work a lot with Landry's restaurant group. So that's the Mortons, the Palm, Oceanaires, McCormick and Schmidt's, Vic and Anthony.
Steakhouse, fit, like higher price point. Because I do think one of the things that's interesting is people who are newer to tequila, they tend to think, I want the clear one, I want the blanco. And I always advise them not to do that. I always say start at reposado. And then if you want a little more like agave flavor, and if they don't know what that is, try the blanco, and it'll sort of tell you what agave is by process of elimination. And if you're like, I'm not sure about agave, then you move up to añejo. You're starting with añejo. And for newbies, That's a scary thing. Like they want a clear thing. But then you've got this bottle that they can't see the color. So I'm almost like I'm torn, right? On one hand, I want to say, well, a Blanco for the newbies, that's what they like. And on the other hand, I'm like, well, they don't know what color this is, and calling it an añejo and a sipping tequila, that can be enough. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how your reposado does, because people will see the color, they'll know it's not a Blanco. It'll be interesting to see how that performs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're excited about it, and we've just gotten so many questions about when the reposado is coming out. So it feels great to be able to say in 2026, you're going to have that reposado, and we're waiting for that to help us steer.
I do have one other question. I'm just going to go back to additives.
Do it, Heidi. Go.
You got an award on the Agavos Awards, which is run by Agave
Wait, I'm
Matchmaker.
Agavos.
Oh yeah, she's one of the judges on Agavos Awards.
Thank you so much.
At our meeting. Yeah.
And she's on the Agave Matchmaker panel, just regardless of the Agavos Awards. So
You are too, aren't
Marissa,
you?
no, I haven't reviewed enough tequilas. I get lazy. Like I review tequilas and then I forget to go into Tequila Matchmaker and put it in there. But anyways, what I wanted to know was, are you going, because I know Grover changed the way that he tests things now. He just tests it off the shelf. And then you get to be like a premium brand partner. So I always tell people, like, encourage them to go to Agave Matchmakers, because the average person wants to know, how do I know if there's anything in here? So I always tell them, go to the Agave Matchmaker app. It's free. Sign up, get an account. The first thing that shows up on the very first page is the list of all of the preferred brand partners, which are now means that they're clean tequilas, no additives in there. So are you going to go through that process? I kind of feel like you guys should, since you wrote it on the box and, you know, it's additive free. That would be really, really beneficial for you all to do that. But are you thinking about doing it, going through his thing?
I mean, we probably should reach out. We haven't done it yet. We've been our head down getting this next product out, but we're definitely not opposed to doing it for sure.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people using that app now.
Well, that's why I asked the demographic question. And when you said everybody, right? Like the aficionados like Heidi, like me, one of the first things we do before we even look at the bottle is look at the nom. And from there, we sort of make assumptions, right? And so I think having this brand associated positively with a trusted source like Agave Matchmaker can only help for the people like me and Heidi who certainly look for that first. And then you have the beautiful presentation for people who don't. Yeah.
And just for people that are new, that just, I get asked all the time, how do I know? Like, how do you know all the tequilas that are clean? How do I know? So that's why. But like when you're looking at the app, if you're looking at the brands that are made there, like this brand has like the little thing right there. So it tells you like, for sure that's clean. And I do always tell people, just because it doesn't have that little mark, and just because it's not a premium brand partner, doesn't mean it has additives. It just means they haven't gone through like the process. But the process is so easy now because Grover basically is just pulling a bottle off the shelf and having it tested. So that's why I was wondering.
I actually didn't even know. I didn't know how he was doing it. Yeah.
He might have changed that process, Heidi, recently. Like, I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really know how it's going right now, but it's worth, obviously, like, he's amazing. He's one of the nicest people. Like, it's worth just,
Super nice.
yeah, just ask him.
Followed.
His palate is insane.
Well, if it wasn't for him, nobody would even be talking about additives. Let's face it. He's the one that brought it to light, you know, so kudos to him. Kudos to Grover for that. But
Yeah. Okay, so we are at time, but
Wow, that
we'll
was fast.
appreciate this. We like to end every show by asking our guests, is there anything that we didn't ask you that you want people to know? Anything you wish we asked?
Oh.
Yeah.
Adriana, is there anything?
Well, just want to say that 1953 is a true expression of agave and the process, and is really an honest product. No additive, no shortcuts, and with an intention, made with an intention.
Hell yeah.
and
I mean, I'm not gonna top that. I don't know, Heidi. You're not. Are you gonna top that? I'm not topping that.
No.
Cool. Okay, so if you want to find more about 1953, buy a bottle. The box has the story, and you can do it on 1953
New York, California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, and soon to be Vegas or online.
Soon to be Vegas, and more than that, like if you want to know, these people seem pretty approachable, intimidatingly smart, but approachable. You can always message the brand on Instagram, or if you want, you can message me and Heidi. I will probably ignore you. Heidi's more nice, but generally speaking, I think that's always a good thing to do. Like just talk to the brand if you ever have questions. All that being said, okay, look forward to their newly announced Reposado coming this summer.
I'm so excited to see that.
Half the price. God, I want to make an Epstein's Island joke there, but I will not. Sorry, we're gonna get banned now. I made it the whole episode. Damn it. But that concludes Women's History Month for us at TequiLadies. So anything else you guys want to add before we? Look, we're getting Bonanza's products average an 83 rating. That's pretty good.
That's good. Yeah.
Good.
Well,
Someone's also asking what year you guys started.
Comes from the San Matias family too. So
Oh, really?
we talked a lot about her being generations of making great tequila, but she also owns San Matias.
Carmen is our girl. She has the best skincare. She's the best skin in the game. And I'm always like, what is your face? She just smiles. She's wonderful.
So does Adriana. So
does
every time
Adriana.
we're with her, we're like, okay, what are you using now?
You're like glowing. I mean, my God.
Adriana,
I'm 5, I still care the skin. Yeah, that's not true. That is not true.
What would happen if I put tequila on a cotton ball and like cleanse my skin with it?
Baby, put on your finger. Let's go.
I don't know. No, I don't recommend that. Better see.
I think you just got plans for Friday night.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell everything. Like, cool. Okay. Well, so thus concludes this month of women's only episodes for Women's History Month.
Yeah.
A 5 Tuesday month. We got lucky. 5 Tuesday month.
Yes.
Anything else you guys want to add, or we're calling it? We want to call it?
No, I just want to say thank you for what you're both are doing. And I know we talked about it before, but I messaged you all a while ago because I was such a fan of seeing women come together and talk about tequila. And I am so proud of all of the women in this industry, and to be on with you all celebrating Women's History Month is an honor for us. And thank you for doing what you do every single day. We need more women in this space, more women talking about tequila, more women supporting women in tequila. So thank you for having us and giving us the opportunity to share the stories behind 1953.
Absolutely. And
Thank
honestly,
you.
it's fun to be a part of people's story, and it's fun to be talking to brands when they're nascent, right? Like you have one SKU right now. Like 10 years from now, we're going to look back and be like, hey, remember when they had one SKU and they came on TequiLadies episode 214? So it's always
And
really
we
fun.
have OG box.
We have the
an
OG box. Baby,
You
and
have an OG box.
honestly, I need a new, I need more space. I'm just crazy. I have so much.
Thank you so much all for being on here with us. And Adriana, I hope that one day Marissa and I can come visit the
Sure.
distillery. We would love to see.
Sure. Very welcome. Very welcome.
We should
I will love that.
like choose our favorite guests and just ask them like, hey, when can we come down and visit? And just do like a
Sure.
like hit all the distilleries. You know,
That would be amazing.
or you
yeah.
should come to BCB. One of the two.
I can come to BCB too. I know I have an event, I think, on June 6th. But
Excellent.
BCB's during the week?
Yeah, it's like Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So
I would
really,
have to come.
the parties are all week. Like
Yeah.
okay, so last year BCB. So I had been like kind of being very healthy because I had a wedding in Mallorca, and I was like, I want to be tight and like ripped. And I was really good. I was so good for months. And then BCB was the week before the wedding. And I was like zipping up my dress going, yeah, we're coming in on fumes here. Wasn't my best, but BCB is a lot. It's a lot, Heidi. It's a lot.
Well, that would be a lot of fun.
It is. If you're ever in Nashville, look up Heidi. If you're ever in New York, look up Marissa.
Yes.
And
We'll do that.
Heidi, what do we tell them? What do we say?
We'll see you next and every Tuesday. Thank you,
Okay.
ladies.
Next and every Tuesday. Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
Women's History
Thank
Month.
you.
Every month is Women's History Month.
1953.